Colton Bonsall, a senior from Cedar Creek. Good morning, Colton. How are you?
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're not too nervous. You're about to be locally famous.
I'm pretty nervous.
That's all right, man. We're just going to be talking some football. No big deal.
All right, that's fine.
What's this week been like for you? Obviously you guys won the state championship last weekend in an exciting win over West Deptford, and had to be a thrilling ride home, and just the whole week's got to be kind of surreal for you.
Oh, my Lord. You don't even know. Like, it's insane how, like, crazy it could be, like, how everybody got together and we just enjoyed the bus ride home. Like, it felt, like, impossible.
How tough was it to take off that uniform, the shoulder pads and the helmet, knowing that was going to be the last time you wore that uniform for all these seniors? Did you try to take the jersey home from Coach Watson?
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, let me take this jersey. I'll bring it back Monday.
Take a couple selfies with it. But yeah, it was extremely tough to take it off, especially knowing it was going to be my last time. I just want to enjoy it on the bus ride home a little bit more, and it was very emotional seeing that I'll never have it on again.
Tell me a little bit about your career. Obviously you weren't one of the big name guys. How tough was it to stay with it? You played a role as a guy coming off the bench, and as a senior, that's not an easy thing to handle. And there was a lot of guys like that on your team that didn't get a lot of recognition, with guys like Amir Mitchell and Bo Melton and Jesse Mills and all those guys. And you guys were asked to play a role, and you accepted that and kept working every day. And I know Coach Watson was saying some great things about yourself and guys like Jesse Nikolov and James Guys, all these guys who really contributed and didn't get a whole lot of recognition. How tough was that for you, knowing you weren't going to get a lot of playing time, to stay with it as a senior?
Well, I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I just quit. I would have no idea. Like, like I was just so used to it. Like, I didn't even think about quitting when he told me to, like, that I wasn't going to start. He went up to my car. He gave me a big speech, and I wasn't going to start. And I was like, he made me promise that I'd stay with it. And I said, I'll stay with it, Coach. That's no problem.
So there was never a second thought of like, hey, I'm a senior. I'm not going to see a lot of playing time. What's the point of this? No,
not at all. I mean, what would that do to you in life? Like, if you were just if something like big was going to happen, like you weren't going to like be able to go on a family trip or something like that, and you had to stay. I mean, why wouldn't you just go with your family on the trip?
Good point. We're talking with Colton Bonsall, senior from the Cedar Creek High School football team, won the state championship last weekend. Colton, how much did you learn about yourself this year and just working hard for a common team goal, even though you weren't going to be a huge part of it playing time-wise, but it had to be, sort of a maturation process for yourself saying, hey, if I want to be a part of this championship team, I'm going to have to put the work in just like everybody else.
Well, you see, Dave, I learned that even though that I was going to be playing, that I could get through tough times, because I'll admit I had some moments where I doubted myself, but I knew I wasn't going to quit. So I knew that every chance I got to play, that I would just do my best, no matter what.
How much confidence does that give you going forward in life to just be able to say, hey, I was a part of a state championship team. I didn't give up. I put the work in, and I was a part of this. And you got to feel just as big a part of it as anybody else. And how much confidence does that give you going forward in the next chapter of your life?
Lots. When I came in a freshman, I had zero confidence. I was a fat loser kind of kid, because that's how I was in middle school. But then football made me change my perspective about myself. it made me believe in myself. It made me feel like I can accomplish anything.
Good stuff, man. Tell us about the ride home, and what was that bus ride like? I mean, you guys were hooting and hollering all the way back to the locker room at Rowan University, and all those fans, and what was that like, the ride home? And then you get into Egg Harbor City, and the whole town's out there on Philadelphia Avenue welcoming you guys back home. Had to be just a great experience.
It was. The ride home was a bit quieter than I expected, but it was still extremely. I think we were all still thought the impossible had just happened. I think we were in a shocked state, and then we see the fire trucks on going back to Egg Harbor City, and we knew it. We knew it happened. We heard the first siren, and we just started putting our heads out of the window, looking like a dog.
What was that like Monday morning going into school? I mean, you had to feel like the king of the world at that point.
To be honest, Steve, a lot of guys didn't even go to school on Monday.
Well, you deserved a day off, maybe. What about just the whole week? Walking through the hallways of the school, and I'm sure a lot of people coming up congratulating you. What did that make you feel like? As a football player, as a senior at that school, somebody who kind of sets the example for the younger guys, and it had to be just an amazing feeling walking around with your head held high as a state champion.
Everybody was congratulating us. I could not get a second worth of quiet. Everybody was like, "Great job, good job." Felt like we were like war heroes almost. I'm not in a disrespectful manner though.
Speaking of war heroes, we got the Army-Navy game coming up this afternoon. How cool is that? Have you ever seen that game on TV? And it's just an awesome game. Seeing those guys go out, and then after the game, they both sing their fight songs, and just a cool event, right?
Yeah, it's one of the toughest college rivalries around. That's probably one of the most famous ones.
We're talking with Colton Bonsall here of the Cedar Creek High School Pirates. They won the state championship over West Deptford last Sunday. Colton, before we let you go, what are you going to remember most about this season and that championship? What are you going to take with you here as you go through the rest of your life and going on to the things you're going to do post high school?
One of the things I'm going to remember the most is the friends that I made. I'm going to give a little shout out to my boys who are watching, especially my boy Nick France. He, if you didn't know, he broke his leg and tendon and couldn't play in the state championship game. He hurt it during St. Aug, and he's probably my best friend. So he deserves the most recognition out of anybody on the team. Yeah,
before we let you go, talk about him a little bit. Obviously, he was a starting defensive lineman, and really one of the reasons you got as far as you did this season. And what a great kid, and what a great story of just perseverance and like a lot of you guys, just staying with it and contributing in any way you can. Talk about him a little bit.
He's just like me and James. We never were big name guys. It was always the three of us. Even my boy Nick Sartorial a little bit, but Nick France, he's the hardest working kid I've ever met. I believe he was Iron Pirate for I think 2 years in a row, which means he was in the weight room just grinding out there. He probably gets no recognition, and that was fine by him. And he started this year, and he made plays. That's.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, sorry, we thought we lost you. Definitely a cool moment for him. I know he wanted to be out there real bad, but what was that like? Just being able to put the state championship trophy in his hand as he's sitting there in that wheelchair with his leg up.
It must have meant the world for him because he wanted to be out there so bad. If anybody deserved to be out on that field, it was Nick France.
Good stuff, man. We'll let you get going and enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and thanks for taking a few minutes, Colton. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
All right, that was Colton Bonsall, a really cool kid, a senior over there at Cedar Creek, who's really put the time and effort in to be a part of that state championship team. And it's great to see guys like that really stick with it and persevere, and that's going to serve him well as he goes through the rest of his life.